Hey everybody, this is Petey from the Spin Rack, and we also have
Alvin Ellis, ready to rock.
today we are doing a trailer on Predator Badlands. Are you ready for this, Cal?
No, but let's do it anyway.
All right, ready, set, and I'll just roll it back.
I didn't think you survived. You're hunting something that can't be killed.
Hey, so what do you say, sir?
I think the Predator franchise really needs to get back to basics, and they have totally lost the narrative with this particular character. You can't do the first movie over. I still think the first movie is, far and away the best of all of them, but it was the first. It was new. There were things you could do in that you can't do with the others. The biggest thing we got was we didn't know what he looked like for the majority of the film, and then when it was revealed, it was like, oh, okay. And the other thing was that Arnold Schwarzenegger and all the other guys were serious underdogs to the Predator. Now, in Badlands, it looks like we have a Predator who's an underdog to other Predators. At this point, I think we have really lost the narrative on this franchise, and they really need to get back to those basics where the Predator is an overwhelming favorite, and we need to be rooting for the person who is going to survive or somehow, just through some sort of serendipity, take out the Predator. The last film with Prey, I think pretty much demolished that idea. Anybody can take out the Predator. These guys come with superior weapons, superior technology. They're stronger, they're faster, and it doesn't matter. As long as you can throw a tomahawk attached to a rope, you will be able to take out the Predator. You can use the Predator's technology. This, I think, is just going in the wrong direction. Sorry if anybody enjoyed the trailer.
Well, I think I think I might have the same sort of feeling, and I agree with most, if not all of your points. Um, I was like, all right, so maybe a locale could be it, but then when we go to this other world, and it's as you said, they got all these people after him. They got the world itself has, is almost a praying mantis. And then we've got these other, whatever they are, if they're predators, and I look like these killing predators. So it's saying this world, or this bad land, is a place where they take these guys out. So now predator becomes prey. We got homegirl in there, so that's a plus. I'm not sure she's gonna help to the story, but at the same time she'll explain some things.
Who's the actress?
Is she from? Oh man, I'm blowing it. Give me a second. Uh, let's say let's go to the internet. Elle Fanning, that's my girl. I remember this. I didn't know. I always mix up the Dakota and L. So, but at the same time, that's not helping because it's the same situation as Prey. Will she just be a bystander? She's on this world as an official, or will she be in there? But she looked like she had some mystical thing going on. So how long will she survive? And that's the thing. When we looked at Princess Leia and she was the plucky princess, and she pulls out the gun and starts shooting and doing that stuff. They didn't, outside of her taking out Jabba, who's immobile. Is nothing really was outside of Princess Leia's wheelhouse, riding the speeder, that sort of thing. All that stuff was in there. They didn't have her go against Chewbacca and have him in a headlock, that sort of thing. So, but I'm sorry, on the Predator's world, is this guy the hot Predator? It's the Predator, he should have a man bun with his dreads. He's got all the stuff. The thing of the Predator is supposed to be, the wild, like the dreadlocks and this, that, and the other. And he's like, nah, I keep mine like close to the vest. He's a metrosexual Predator. But anyway, I think this is the plain Jane Predator, or because the other Predator is probably what everyone kind of looks the same to us. No insult intended to the Predators, but it seems a little too cleaned up for me. And this sort of thing, I'm not buying this sort of this stuff is they're going too far. I think they still need the digital effects on it. So, but it looks like you go into the IMAX like the way people used to go to 3D. There's a lot of visual stuff going on here, and hopefully they have enough money to pay all the stuff off. But Prey made them some money, so this director probably got as much money as he wanted doing this next thing, since he gave him a low budget one. So, but I mean, I'm saying you like the first one and the second one, right? And maybe you like Aliens versus Predator, right? That's your range of Predator films. Cal, you there? I lose you? Well, I believe he likes those ones. But at the
Well,
same oh yeah, all right, cool.
yeah, accidentally somehow the mute button got hit. Yeah, the first one, second one, AVP. Yeah, those are my top three when it comes to the Predator.
And there's like 6 or 7 of them now, right?
Ugh, too many.
So it's really hard to say you have a dynamic. No, at the same time, there's a lot of comic books where we see them able to play out some of the other aspects, some of the on the Predator world, that sort of thing. So there's other things you could try to find. You want to try to find a new angle on this stuff, different locations in America, of course, that or no, in on Earth, I mean, that can be fun to kind of play out. But yeah, this one is I don't want to say. I don't know. After the one with Adrian Brody, I was kind of like a wrap for me. So the only one that I liked was the post the other ones. I guess the first one, and I was very iffy on the second.
The
Um,
one I thought the one with Adrian Brody Predators, I thought that was okay, but I could see even with they're struggling for ideas because you got these guys now, they're on the Predator planet. How the hell are they going to get off this planet? Even they didn't know how the hell they were going to get off the planet. That's why they ended the film the way that they did.
hmm So yeah, it's a tough thing having this franchise, which is maybe it was a 1 or 2 movie, and the comic books pushed it. I mean, the comic book said, "Hey, you guys are doing well." I think Marvel and DC weren't doing crossovers, and they kind of brought back the crossover, and it led to doing some movies, and it led to Marvel and DC doing a ton of stuff together. So it's they're banking it, and obviously it said the Predator has more legs than I might have thought, but here is just kind of going a little well, not a little, a lot left to me, but at the same time, Elle Fanning's in it. We could see how this is going to turn out, but I can't trust another Predator film. The one I like was the amateur film, which was Predator, like what almost Prey was based off of, which was having someone did their own film, and they did all the basic things that you see in Prey. It was Indian woman out in there facing, I think it was a female predator, very low budget, but I was like saying, this is the same idea. Like,
Oh, good
good
grief.
Lord.
There's a female predator? No.
There's female predators. I know in the comic book there's some female predators. You
And
gotta have
yeah,
female
the female
locations.
predator had four breasts. No.
All right,
No, you
so
take like serious. Can you imagine if they decided to delve as deeply into the Alien franchise as they've done with the Predator? I mean, what do we need to know about the Alien? They're monsters. And the worst one is this queen. That's it. That's all we need to know. They're very hard to kill. We don't want these as long as you have those core elements of that, not even the first film, the second film. The first film was like, hey, I don't want this thing to kill me. The second film became, wait a minute, these things reproduce by laying eggs inside of you, and then they become exponentially more dangerous. We can't let these things get off the planet.
mhm.
They'll overrun everything. And then we have these corporations that want to bring these things back as weapons. So you have those things playing against each other. And as long as you have them, it usually it can make for a very entertaining film. But could you imagine they're going over here where like, oh, we need to, are the, so is there if there's a queen, is there a king? No, we don't need to know all of this type of stuff. We know we don't need it, but it just shows that they've run out of ideas.
Well, that's the thing. The hard part is that what you said. The part I'll pick the first part of it, saying understanding that you're dealing with horror and horror elements, meaning that you should have some interesting and characters that you can care about going into the next sort of storyline. Whereas I feel like in comic books, as far as Dark Horse and like Alien, I feel like the Dark Horse kind of said, "We're giving you another group of military such and such to deal with every month," and I think they kind of overrun it. There's only a few that I feel like took the idea and kind of put the alien in a different setting, and some that are fun like the Batman's Alien, which I enjoyed. And Predator, I think, felt like because they kind of came up with the Predator in L.A. with Dutch's brother. So it's like, hey, this is a new locale. Like saying there is a framework that you can use, saying that instead of sitting in a room and being cynical and saying, oh, this is just Friday the 13th, just going to get a whole new set of kids. Yes, you get a whole new set of people to a new location and people that you care about, so you can play up to, to play up to the stakes and losing people and having that sort of thing. You don't have to rewrite the concept with some cheesy stuff that you've added, which makes this thing a little more mundane than it is. Where the predator is the character that's the interesting one, and the people that we care about are the ones we worry about. So. So yeah, so let's wrap this one up. Any last words?
Give us back the feel that we had from the first movie, where we got I don't know, but Arnold Schwarzenegger actually had a name at the time. It was a franchise that didn't have a name, but give us back that feeling we had from the first movie where we have this character who looks incredibly, you have to think of someone who's like an action star who's incredibly capable and everything, and then you put him up against the Predator, and
Mhm.
you're like, oh my goodness, he's so outclassed. And then it doesn't become, okay, what's going to happen next? Like, how is this guy going to survive? How is he going to beat this guy? And again, what they did with the Predator was great because it's just by luck that he crawls through the mud and he realizes, oh, the mud, can't he can't see me. And then, he's got this great plan and he ends up falling in the water. Like, okay, well, there goes the mud. Now he's fighting him hand to hand. He's like, I set this trap. Uh-oh, the Predator's too smart. The trap didn't work. And it's just by chance that he happens to be able to defeat him. And even then, the Predator was like, okay, I'm gonna blow up everything for like within a mile. What are you gonna do now? You need to get that feeling back with this dude. Whoever's fighting it is severely outclassed. So we're fully, fully on the side of the human being who's fighting against this predator. Or you can do some of the stuff they did from Dark Horse, where the Predator wins, but the Predator is fighting against like Nazis, or Klansmen, or what have you, or it's like there's some remote island and they hunt people, and the Predator is hunting the people who are hunting the people. You can do stuff like that as well, but at this point, you need to get back to some foundational stuff with the Predator and not what you're doing right now.
Yeah, yeah, no, I totally agree. Spinner rack is.
Out.
We are out of here.